And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to Texas Motor Speedway as we get ready here for the Texas Roadhouse 300. We are live here at Texas Motor Speedway getting ready for 34 laps of racing. And did I mention, this is chase race number 7 of Season 7 of the NNSCRA Mobil1 Cup Series. So we are clearly in the second half of our chase schedule, and we are getting ready here to finish up today's race. And then after the Snickers Cup Series race, we head to a trifecta for the season finale races, Thornton, Talladega, and Zenjoltas. Can't wait for that. This is our final regular racetrack, if you will. Then we head to our 3 finishing races. But we're getting ready here today for this event, and the point standings coming into this race, they could be closer, but they are somewhat close, as basically coming into this race, the top 9 in points are right now separated by 54 points. Sounds like a lot, but quite honestly, in one race, that could be made up and cut down and really make the points really close, so it still is a rather close points battle. It's just going to depend on what takes place here today at Texas. Jake Rogers puts himself on the pole position here today. His teammates Lyndon Wright and Joshua Collett have already gone to victory lane in the past recent weeks. Rogers still trying to get to victory lane for the first time this season, as he is second overall of the non-chasers in points. Alongside of him is going to be Daniel Day, former winner this season. Actually, he's been putting together a few good runs as of late and has himself up to 23rd in overall standings. Chasers fill up row 2. James Qualls, former winner this season. He is currently second in the point standings, trying to chase down Luke Walker. He's 13 points back as Qualls. And then Dylan Schwallenberg, who picked up a Mobil1 Cup Series win a couple weeks ago at Indianapolis. He currently runs, or he'll start in the 4th position. Schwallenberg is 6th in the point standings, right now a total of 46 points out of the top position. So as we get ready to put them under the green flag, we'll show you your starting lineup on the top of your screen. Chasers are highlighted in yellow, and we will also give you an overlook at the point standings coming into this race. Luke Walker, who spent a majority of the regular season trying to run down Sean Gallagher for the points lead. He is the points leader now, as we said, by 13 points over James Qualls. James Silverfox is currently 3rd in points, 28 points back. Cody Lamas 4th in the standings. He has a total of 35 back. 55 back, or 45 back, I'm sorry, is Zach Rogers, who's 5th in points. Dylan Schwallenberg is a total of 46 points back. Boy, I'm having trouble here. He's 6th in points. Cassandra Renzi has worked her way all the way up to 7th in points, and right now she is only 49 points out. Yep, that's the case. A total of 54 points out is a tie for 8th between Bob Jones and Madison Siebert. Drew Austin is 10th in the standings. Right now he is 66 points out. Total of 68 points out is Dylan Young. He's 11th in points. Wolfgang Mason, he is currently 12th in points. Austin LaPlante 13th. Sean Gallagher 14th. And Andy Timmons 15th. Those drivers are at least 75 or more points out of the top position. They really need good runs here today. As we get ready for the pace car to peel off onto pit road, we'll put these cars under the green flag for 34 laps of racing. Our Truck Series race came down to fuel strategy. Will it happen here today? And will Dodge continue its dominance at Texas? Green flag's out, and we're underway here at Texas Motor Speedway. And as I mentioned, the Dodges, there's only one Dodge in this field, and that's Wolfgang Mason. So he's got pretty much a man by himself to try and continue Dodge's good luck streak here at Texas. As there's Zach Campbell 3 wide under Qualls and Daniel Day. That's good news for Jake Rogers, who's going to pull out to a pretty good advantage here in the lead. Now, where is Luke Walker? Where did he start, and how is he doing on working his way through traffic? There he is, back here 3 wide with McCurry, Jones, Trent Dunham just ahead, Shelton, Tanner Sullivan. He's on the inside line, making hay on his way up here to the front, as he just picked up 4 spots on the first lap of this race. 4 wide behind him, Bob Jones. Oh, there they go! Other end of the wall, upside down, Kyle Matthews. Oh man, Nova just got nailed by somebody. He collects his teammate Dylan Young. Still flipping as Matthews. Timmons collected as well. Cody Lamas is in it. Levi McIntyre, Harrison Langford, and the caution flag, amazingly enough, is out. Who would have thought? Only 2 cars flipping. No need to throw a yellow, but there you go. Caution flag waves. And that was a lot of hard licks taken there. 4 wide situation going wrong very, very quickly, and a couple of chasers were collected in this. Andy Timmons and Dylan Young, a couple of stragglers down at the bottom of the chase standings who really needed good runs. Well, this may have just written them off from the championship picture. It looks like maybe drivers going to make some pit stops here. It's lap 3. We know they can make it somewhere around 17 laps on 1 tank of fuel. So these drivers would undoubtedly have to pit at least one more time. But apparently they decide this is the time to do it. So Jake Rogers, Jake Cole, that's the top 2. And then Jake Rogers' teammate Lyndon Wright coming down here in 3rd place. As they're going to pull into their pit stall, let's see if they go with any rubber or they just go in gas and go. Now looks like they're going right sides on a couple cars. Gas and go, though, for the 19 of Jake Rogers, but his teammate Lyndon Wright's going to beat him out. And so will Mason Wood. Then it's Rogers, then Zach Rogers. Jake Rogers, then Zach Rogers, and then I think Trent Dunham is completing the top 5. So the caution flag is out. We basically saw everybody that was involved, but we'll look back for a more in-depth look of what happened. Lyndon Wright is now the leader under yellow. Looking for his 2nd win. He won earlier on at Watkins Glen. Let's take a look now at a replay of our first caution of the day here at Texas. 4-wide situation coming here out of turn 2. You had to know something was going to have to give. This is a very fast but very slick racetrack as well. Not really that accustomed to these kind of maneuvers. Right there, contact between the 38 of Bob Jones and the 32 of Henry Nova sends all 3 of them, including the Kyle Matthews machine, down into the wall. Look at the hits for both the 38 and the 89. Just an idea of how much speed they were carrying. And then Henry Nova's car is going to be the one to come back up into traffic, and I believe he's going to get collected right there by Cody Lamas up into Langford. McIntyre has nowhere to go. Man, Sean Gallagher, Joshua Collier just barely getting through. And then, oh man, Dylan Young gets collected by both the 32 and the 89. Sends him up right in front of Andy Timmons. And Bob Jones was another chaser that I did not mention that was involved in this. But I don't know how Sean Gallagher or Joshua Collier got through. Let's go on board with the Aspen Dental Toyota. What exactly did Sean Gallagher see? We're about to find out. Talk about parting the waters and creating an opening. That's exactly what was made there for Sean Gallagher. And for Joshua Collard, who I believe was right behind him. There you see the yellow machine of Collard. Nice maneuvers by those 2 Brits. Caution lights are off. We'll go back to green flag racing on lap 7 of 34. Drivers out after what we just saw are only 3 drivers in total. Henry Nova, Kyle Matthews, and also Cody Lamas out of the race. I am surprised that they're telling me that Bob Jones is still running. His car, remember, flipped over. But there he is, big as life and still running. James Silverfox is back here. We got word that he ended up getting into a skirmish on pit road. We don't know rightly who it was with, but that's why he's back here with damage. And Andy Timmons somehow able to continue as well as chaser Dylan Young. So the only chaser out of the race right now is Cody Lamas, 4th in the point standings. Came in only 35 points out, so that's a tough break for him. And he'll have to try and rebound in the next coming weeks. Lyndon Wright is the leader. And when we go back to green, Mason Wood will be 2nd. Jake Rogers, the pole sitter, 3rd. Zach Rogers, 4th. And Trent Dunham in 5th. James Quall, 6th. Dylan Poteet, 7th. Dylan Schwallenberg in 8th. Points leader Luke Walker's worked his way up now to 9th. And Jake Cole completes the top 10. So waiting for the yellow pace car to make the left-hander to pit road. And we'll get ready to put him back under the green flag here at Texas Motor Speedway. Now these drivers pitted back on lap 3. They can make it to somewhere around lap 20, but they will have to pit again at least once. Green flag back out. Let's see how they do here in a single file restart rather than starting in double wide like they did at the start of this race. Already a battle between the Rogers for the 3rd position. Zach will move underneath of Jake. Trent Dunham now follows through to take 4th, and now Dylan Poteet looking for 5th. And now Zach Rogers using that momentum to go now for 2nd place underneath of Mason Wood. Whoa, Trent Dunham looked like he almost made contact with the 33 and almost forced a 3-wide situation there in the middle of the corner. But they keep it together, and now Dunham will try and go to the inside of Zach Rogers. Oh, Zach takes a peek to the inside of Lyndon Wright. We nearly had 3 wide in turn 1. But now Zach Rogers, who had to think better of and back out, he now is losing positions to the freight train beneath him of Dunham, Poteet, and Jake Cole. And look who's coming up here. The points leader of the chase standings, Luke Walker, is now up, taking the 5th position away from Zach Rogers. Talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. That's what Luke Walker's doing as he follows the trait frame How about a freight train down there on the inside line? Trent Dunham had the lead. Now Dylan Poteet steps out of line, looking a little bit more like a restrictor plate race than a 1.5 mile speedway race, but there you go. This is what's happening. Dylan Poteet now goes to the point, and here comes Luke Walker looking for second. Charles Sanford right behind him there in third as he takes that spot away from Trent Dunham. Stuff getting really testy here, but how about some of our other chasers that we haven't talked about? How about Cassandra Renzi? Now, we know she's been on a streak of good finishes lately. Right now, she's running back here with Sean Galligan and Joshua Collard. She's currently in the 29th position, but still running, so that's a good thing for a driver whose chase really started off very, very poorly. And there's Sean Galligan, who really dominated the Mobil1 Cup Series standings for the regular season. He comes into this race right now 14th out of 15 chase drivers. He has just had a terrible chase. A former Mobil1 Cup Series champion, and right now he's trying to do something, but right now nothing seems to be working out. Not too far behind him is the defending Mobil1 Cup Series champion, Austin LaPlante. He also is having a rather dismal chase as he's side by side with Roush Fenway teammate Harrison Langford, running currently in the 32nd position. He is currently 13th out of the 15 chase drivers, and he's currently 76 points out. Now, still mathematically eligible to win the championship, but it all depends on how his finishes come here at Texas, as well as Thornton, Talladega, and the season finale at Zenjoltis. LaPlante's been in this situation before. Can he come through? That's the big question. There's James Silverfox. Now maybe he and Joshua Michaels were the two that got together, because they're both running way back here in 35th and 36th. But this is not what Silverfox needed. 28 points out, third in the chase standings, and right now in danger of maybe going a lap down if this thing goes into a long green flag run. Here's a couple more chasers back here. Timmons, Dylan Young, and Bob Jones. Not good for these guys right at the current moment, as there's Jake Cole. He has now taken over the lead. They've been swapping the lead around for the past couple of laps. Jake Cole now emerges as the new leader. Second place now Tanner Sullivan. Then it's a battle between some Tweenix teammates. James McLeod now up here into third, going by his teammate Dylan Poteet in the 17. Madison Siebert. Nice run for that chaser. Currently running well. Her teammate Jessica Shelton not too far behind there. We know Andy Timmons has had troubles today, but the rest of the Michael Norman Motorsports cars having good runs right now inside the top 10. Siebert comes in this race 9th in the points, total of 54 points out, and having a good run right now. Trying to get herself back mathematically in contention for the championship. Keep in mind, Madison Siebert was a contender for the championship last season when she drove in Snickers Cup, so don't count her out. James McLeod now going underneath Tanner Sullivan. That's for second. All going on right now behind the Reese Chevrolet out of Richard Childress Racing of Jake Cole. Now, Jake Cole hasn't been to victory lane since Thornton, where we're heading to next week. And Jake Cole would love to be able to pick up a victory here. It would be only his third victory of the season in Season 7. He's got a win over in Snickers Cup for Stewart Haas Racing, a win, as we said, in Mobil1. And he does have a win in trucks, but it wasn't a points event. It was that last chance qualifying race at Talladega which got him into the chase for the championship. So Jake Cole really looking for something here. James McLeod, though, right behind him. And when you look at it between who really needs it more, Jake Cole or James McLeod, let's take a look here. James McLeod, no wins, 31st in points. Jake Cole, 1 win and 32nd in points. So I think James McLeod's wanting that win a lot more than Jake Cole is. But he's got to run down Jake Cole right now, and he's got his teammate right behind him in Dylan Poteet. So it may be Tweenix versus Jake Cole here in a few laps. Charles Sanford, he now moves by Madison Siebert. That's for 4th. Good run there for the Joe Gibbs Racing cars of himself and his teammate Tanner Sullivan. And I think Dylan Schwallenberg's not too far behind. Where's he at? Yeah, there he is. Currently crossed the line last time by in 12th place. So all three of the JGR cars having really good runs. There's Luke Walker now working underneath of Daniel Day. That would be, I believe, for the 10th position. Yeah, I think so. No, actually, they're saying it's for 9th. And there's Trent Dunham trying to pick up a win here in the Mobil1 Cup Series in front of his home crowd. Dunham, a former Mobil1 Cup Series champion. And one driver that's battling up for the Snickers Cup Series championship tomorrow, Anthony McCrory. He's currently in the top 10 right now. He's been actually doing well for the past couple of weeks there in that Audi RS4. He is currently 20th in the point stands. One of the better seasons he's had in Mobil1 Cup Series competition. Oh, we got some lap cars up here that are causing problems. Look out. Andy Timmons causing problems. Bob Jones is in the way. And this could be trouble. Poteet, Sieber, Shelton, they've all gotten by along with the leader, Jake Cole. It was Charles Samper and James McLeod who got held up. Dylan Young with another of those lap cars that was causing problems. As now Jake Cole will have company in the form of Dylan Poteet battling him now for the lead. And they should be making pit stops pretty soon. Somewhere in the next 3 or 4 laps, they should be coming to pit road. Unless a caution comes out, then they're most definitely coming. And wait a minute. Oh, I thought I just saw yellow lights on, but I didn't. Nope, we're still green. As Jake Cole leads, Poteet second, Sieber, the highest running chaser, third, Shelton fourth, Sullivan in fifth, Luke Walker sixth, battle for seventh between McCurry and McLeod, and then a battle for 10th between, or for 9th rather, between Daniel Day and Trent Dunham. Now Sean Henley, Dylan Schwallenberg, and George Roque coming into the picture. So all 3 of the Tweenix cars having good runs here. Although James McLeod ended up getting held up behind one of those slower machines, but still in the top 10 right now. RCR having a pretty good day right now as well, with Jake Cole up here in the lead and Luke Walker back there having a good run, currently running in the 6th position. So JGR, Richard Childress Racing, Tweenix Racing, all having really good runs at the current moment. As it's right now single file here between the top 7 or 8. Jake Cole still with the advantage. Dylan Poteet right there, though. Poteet, I don't think. I'm looking here at the points. Oh, yeah, he does have a win this season. My apologies. So out of everybody here inside the top 5, I believe that the only ones that have not been to victory lane yet this season in Mobil Cup Series competition are 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Madison Sieber, Jessica Shelton, and Tanner Sullivan. Been a bit of a dismal season for Tanner Sullivan. Running well in the chase for trucks, but this season in Mobil, he just has not been able to get any luck. Currently 41st in the point stands, and if I'm not mistaken, that's actually, yeah, that is dead last of all drivers who took the green flag to start the season off at Daytona. It's a good battle here between 2 teammates out of M&M. Jessica Shelton moving by Madison Sieber. That is for 3rd place. Shelton did not have a good run here yesterday in the Truck Series event, but having a good run here. The only problem is she's not battling for the championship in this series. Yesterday was when it really, really mattered, but right now it is still all Jake Cole, and I'm seriously questioning whether or not they may have to pit. They pitted on lap 3, but from my recollection, when they pitted midway through the race in the Truck Series event, some drivers had to come to pit road near the closing stages of that race and ended up finishing a lap down. So I would think the fuel window would still be in effect here for these machines, but then again, maybe I'm wrong. It's a little slightly different build of car. It would be a little more aerodynamic, perhaps a little lighter, and maybe not use up as much fuel consumption. And if that's the case, could play havoc into the pit strategy in tomorrow's Snickers Cup Series race. But right now, it is all Jake Cole. Clean air is really working out for that 21. Dylan Poteet's not really been able to close up the gap. As a matter of fact, let's bring up our ticker here and see just how much Dylan Poteet is closing in. He was about half a second back the last time. This time, he is, well, looks like, yeah, it's remaining just about the same. This time, he just lost about 3/100ths. So right now, Jake Cole pacing the way, and we're coming close to the end of this race. It'll be this time around at the stripe, a total of 6 laps to go. Jake Cole right now continuing to hold about what's maybe a 6-car length advantage over Dylan Poteet. And then Dylan Poteet enjoying a little bit of a gap between himself, about 2 car lengths, back to Jessica Shelton. And Tanner Sullivan and Anthony McCurry. That is the top 5 right now, as McCurry now closing in here. We may have a potential battle for 4th. McCurry all over the back bumper of Tanner Sullivan. And actually, these two are starting to catch up here to 3rd place Jessica Shelton and 2nd place Dylan Poteet, with Madison Sieber and James McLeod not too far behind as well. But still the question, will these drivers have to pit, or can they make it all the rest of the way on fuel? I thought I heard some lap traffic up ahead. There's Joshua Michaels and James Silverfox. They are just now in turn number 2. The field now entering into turn number 1, so I don't think we'll encounter them before this race is over. But if we do, even if we do, Jake Cole is all by his lonesome, so if it comes down to it, he probably would be able to make pretty quick passes on the 12 and the 34 if it comes to that. I don't even know if it's going to, because when we hit the stripe, there's going to be 3 laps to go here at Texas. He just crossed the stripe. Michaels is in the middle of turns 1 and 2. I don't know for certain. Why don't we go on board with the 21, see how far ahead that Penske Ford is. Can't even really see him. I'm looking way over to the left side, the top left. Oh, someone's coming to pit road. And that is Joshua Michaels. So Michaels coming to the pits. I don't know if that's a regularly scheduled stop or if he just pulled off in order to allow Jake Cole the courtesy of going on by him. But whatever the case, 2 laps to go here and 1 driver is on pit road. So now comes into question, are these drivers close on fuel? We saw it happen in trucks. Will it happen here in Mobil? Jake Cole, he's staying out to come to the white flag. Poteet's staying out. It's like everybody here is staying out. Nobody coming to the pits. They're all going to come around to take the white flag. And nobody's coming. The only one that came down was Joshua Michaels. And now he may actually come out here in front of Jake Cole. Here we go. Jake Cole going to make the move to the high side on Joshua Michaels. He will clear him. Nobody there to challenge Jake Cole. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Jake Cole will go to victory lane for the 2nd time this season. He wins the Texas 500. No, the Texas Roadhouse 300 here at Texas Motor Speedway. And quite a dominating performance here. As soon as he got out in that clean air, he never ever looked back. And he wins here today. That's Jake Cole's 3rd career Mobil1 Cup Series victory. 2nd of the season for him, and what a win for that 21 team. Man, he was definitely one of the strongest cars all day long. Looks like Dylan Poteet will finish out the day 2nd. I think McCurry may have actually gotten 3rd. He did. Shelton was 4th, and her teammate, Madison Sieber, finishes out the day in the 5th position. We'll, of course, go through our official top 10 and where the rest of our chasers finished. And I believe Luke Walker did finish in the top 10, so this could be huge for him as far as his points lead heading next week at Thornton. But we will now look at our official top 10 after today's race. Jake Cole with the win. Dylan Poteet going to get 2nd. 3rd place for McCurry. Jessica Shelton 4th. Madison Sieber 5th. 6th place was James McLeod. 7th place was Luke Walker, who amazingly was the 2nd highest finishing chaser. Sieber was the highest finishing in 5th. So Luke Walker will definitely grow his points lead, I believe, heading into next week. By how much, I don't know. We'll find out in a moment. Tanner Sullivan, great run for him in 8th. 9th place, Sean Henley. At 10th place was Charles Sanford. Good runs today by Richard Childress Racing with the 21 and 2. Tweenix Racing puts all 3 of their cars in the top 10 with 2nd, 6th, and 9th. And Michael Norman Motorsports, with the exception of Andy Timmons, had great runs of 4th and 5th. And the Joe Gibbs Racing, 8th, 10th, and where did Schwallenberg finish the day? 16th, so not bad for the JGR boys. So number of teams stepped it up and really got good runs here today. Austin LaPlante, we didn't talk about him much except for one time when he was way at the back of the pack. He'll finish out the day in 12th place. Looking further down, Schwallenberg did finish in 16th, as we said. Zach Rogers finished 19th. 20th place was Sean Galligan. Cassandra Renzi finished 21st. Drew Austin, 24th. Looking further down for some more of our chasers here. Wolfgang Mason, he was in 30th. James Silverfox did finish a lap down in 34th. James Qualls finished a lap down in 35th. Bob Jones and Andy Timmons finished a lap down in 36th and 37th. Dylan Young a lap down in 38th. And then the only driver to retire from the race today finished dead last, and that was Cody Lamas. So, basically, out of everybody in the top 4 in points, only one driver even finished in the top 10. Everybody else finished down outside the top 20, which means Luke Walker is definitely going to have quite a points lead heading into next week's race at the Turn of Death of Thornton. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's race here at Texas. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Here comes your official full fishing results, overall point stays, rookie points, and chase points, heading into the Turn of Death Thornton Speedway next week. We're still going to finish up this race weekend with the running of the AAA Texas 500, the Snickers Cup Series race, coming up very soon. Hope you'll tune in for that. As you've been watching the production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best, Jake Cole takes his second checkered flag of the season here today at Texas Motor Speedway. Goodbye, everybody.